Welcome back to Be a Better Baddie. This is the podcast where women can embrace their true power, increase their confidence, and live their best lives. My name is Quenisha, and I am your host, coach, teacher, and fellow baddie. If you're ready to become the best version of yourself, welcome. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. It's me. Okay. New song, new intro. How are we feeling? New logo too. Who that? So welcome back. We are back. It's October. It's a new month, and I love getting started on a new month that starts on a Sunday or a Monday. I feel like it's a true fresh start. Like those months that start on a Wednesday, they're just not, I don't think they're the vibe. So today's topic is very, very, very fitting. We are talking about rebranding because I have obviously taken my podcast through a rebrand, but I think that this brand rebrand, my professional rebrand, also closely relates to my personal rebrand because my podcast is really a reflection of myself and what I'm experiencing and where I am in my life. So I kind of, as I was going through this rebrand and I was thinking about where I wanted to take my podcast and who I wanted to be behind the mic for this podcast, I kind of came up with the rebranding process, and I wanted to talk through that with you today. So let's start with talking about what is a personal brand in itself, because I think now everyone's sort of starting to view themselves as a brand. Like, you want your Instagram to look a certain way. You want to share certain things on your LinkedIn. You want to be portrayed in a certain way, and that itself is a brand. So how you view yourself in the story that you want to tell the world. So rebranding is essentially changing that. You're changing how you view yourself. You're changing the things you do, and you're changing the story that you tell the world. So why would somebody actually want to rebrand? Like, I thought we were supposed to stay true to ourselves till we die. That is very outdated. There is no such thing as remaining as the same person, I think, and staying true to yourself, because you are constantly changing with this world. And if you are still the exact same person you were when you were 15, I don't think you're being true to your 31-year-old self at all. The core of you, yes, that remains the same. But other than that, I think that we are constantly evolving, and we should constantly evolve. So why would someone rebrand? I'm thinking they're unhappy with the cycle that they're in, and they just really need a change. It's an evolution, and that is the next logical step in their lives. You can want to rebrand because you want to build an identity separate from your identity from the past. You may be tired of that narrative that people tell about you or what people know you as. And then finally, I feel like changing your identity or rebranding is the natural result of someone who feels like they are surviving and not thriving. So think through that. Think about if you're in this spot in your life where you feel like one of these may be true. You may want to rebrand, elevate, and there's so many different words for this, right? Rebrand, level up, upgrade. Either way, all of them are the same thing. Now, I've already kind of touched on this with the problem people have with rebranding. I think that humans in general, we all want to be authentic. We have this thing, we feel like we should be authentic to ourselves. And I think we keep confusing keeping it real with remaining the same. How many times has it been you heard someone saying, no, I am being real. Like, I've watched the same TV show for more than half my life, right? Cool, that's great. Probably not the best example, but cool, that's great. Yes, but I think that the problem with rebranding, the problem that people have with rebranding, is that people in general are afraid to change. Okay, so being afraid of change, this implies a couple of things. Changing implies you're leaving your old self behind, so you're no longer interested in the same things you were before. And that's okay, but I don't think people really like to abandon that past version of themselves, because you do have to kind of, in a sense, mourn your old self and say, oh, I used to do this. Oh, I think back to the things I used to do, and I'm like, oh, look at that. I'm not that girl anymore, and that's okay. But I loved that girl for who she was because she helped me get to where I was. It's all about the framing. Change also implies that you don't have the same dream. So you may have had dreams of becoming a doctor when you were younger. You go to college, you start the pre-med track, and you absolutely fail it. It is the hardest thing you've ever done. But now you have to kind of go through this change, this rebrand. But that means you're abandoning your old dreams, your old self. And I just want to tell you that that's okay. Nobody said that you had to keep the same dream your whole life. You are not bound to the same dreams. It's okay for you to learn because that's what you're here for. The more you learn and the more experience, the more your dreams are going to grow. So that's okay. Another thing, in addition to risking your internal perception of yourself, rebranding can also shake up people around you, right? So remember, your brand is the story you tell to the world. The whatever story you tell, that's what people know you as. So you're telling this story to people around you through your actions, your thoughts, your habits, and breaking out of that image that people have of you can be very hard, because on both ends it means breaking certain patterns and habits. They may treat you a certain way because you've told this story or because that was your brand before, but now you're saying, I don't want to be that girl anymore. So now they now have to reshift the way they think about you and come at things a little differently with you. So while yes, their rebranding can be hard, not only to you but to others around you, but you owe it to yourself to fully dive into the process and do it, because I mean, at the end of the day, we are all just living on a giant rock. When I think about it, sometimes I'm like, we're literally on a giant rock floating somewhere. Like when you just really kind of zoom out and think about what it means to change your perception of yourself, it's really not that big of a deal. Like just do it. So, as you know, I'm in the middle of my rebrand right now, and I'm going to share my rebrand process with you so that if you ever want to revisit this podcast, or you are like, yes, I want to rebrand right now, let's do it, you can do it. So let's pull out that paper, let's pull out that notes app, let's pull out that pen, that pencil, that iPad, and let's jump into the steps to rebrand your identity. Step 1, the most fun part, I will say, is decide who this new baddie is, right? Literally think, what does she do? What are her habits? How does she dress? Who does she hang out with? What are her goals? Like, literally map it out. So I'm going to post a video on Instagram to go along with this. And literally, I drew a picture of myself. I'm not the best drawer. Let's start there. I'm no artiste. But I drew a picture of myself, and I just drew these little lines coming out. And I just started answering these questions about myself. Like, who do I want to be when I see this new version of myself? Who is she? So this process is called visualization. You do this with vision boards, right? Essentially, it's a technique that allows you to set the parameters to make your future vision. You are writing down the things so that your brain can focus on what matters the most to you. Why I think this is so important? It's because we are constantly bombarded with, I think, what do I want to call aesthetics? That's what they're called, right? So even the baddie aesthetic, right? My use of the word baddie isn't necessarily aligned with the baddie aesthetic, but we have different aesthetics. The baddie aesthetic, the cottage girl aesthetic, the gamer girl, all these different ones, right? And I feel like sometimes we try to find an aesthetic and then mold ourselves into that, versus us creating the conditions or our own aesthetic, us creating what we want and then doing what we need to do to get that. So a few things off of my little image that I drew. She's so cute. I'm looking at her now. So my girl, she likes to go to boutique workout classes. I've been doing more of that, and I actually really enjoy it way more than being in a sweaty gym or lifting heavy weights. I know, very surprising. But I don't know, I haven't lifted heavy weights in a long time, but anyways, off topic. So, work out at boutique gyms. I think that this new version of me has a diverse style. So, meaning I don't want to dress in one particular way. Like, I want to mix and match different pieces and different aesthetics. I read books regularly. I'm a podcaster. I eat very healthy, meaning my quality of my food is much better. I prioritize sleep. I volunteer. I am in an organization, right? So these are just a few of the things that I wrote down for myself that I essentially want this rebranded version of myself to have. Me writing these things down is no different than any other time I encourage you all to write things down. Me writing this, drawing this image of myself with all of these little lines coming out saying, this is who this is. That's a form of goal setting. So goal setting can look different ways as well, right? So I'll end with number 1. I'm done with that. Decide who this new baddie is, visualize it, capture it, put it down on paper. Don't put it in your phone. I do want to, before I move on to number 2, don't put it in your phone. Don't type it up on your computer. Literally sit there and draw it like you used to draw your dream house as a child. Okay? Draw it. Number 2, you need to reflect on your why. We sat there, we said we want to do all of these things. Some of them are, now this is when you are going to kind of distinguish the real from the fake. Why do you want to adopt these new habits and traits? How will these things benefit you? What's wrong with your current lifestyle that you need to rebrand? So this is the actual sit down, write about it, think about it. This reflection piece is super important because you want to be able to gain clarity around your goals, values, and desires. You don't want to go out and just make all these drastic changes, right? And turns out you don't even like it. So this is a way for you to reflect on what you said you want to do, why you want to do that, and kind of plan out the steps to get those things done. This is for you to prepare, plan them, right? So I just want to go back and revisit my boutique workouts. I knew that I wanted to make a change in my workout habits. So I started with YouTube videos. Like I would do mat Pilates. I still do. I do mat Pilates from a YouTube video because I don't know if you know, but Pilates and all those boutique gyms, they are expensive. They're super expensive. Have you ever just went and looked to see how much one class is? And if you think, hey, what if I take 2 classes? That's $60 a week. Like, that's a lot of money. So ease your way into it. I'm not telling you, hey, you said you want to do these things, go into debt right now to get them. Think about why you want to do them, and then think about how they will benefit you. And I'll write these questions in the show notes as well for you. But definitely take that time to reflect. So for me, when I was thinking about my workout schedule, I was like, okay, like I feel like I don't want to really necessarily get stronger. I don't want to be able to squat 300 pounds. Yes, that'd be awesome. I'm sure I can do it, but it's not necessarily a goal that I want to continue to work towards. And I also want to lose some body fat. And I think that by me doing these more intense workouts, I'm eating more because I expend so much energy in the gym. So doing the more low impact workouts will allow me to actually follow a diet that works for me and my body. And I have seen benefits from it. So that was my thought process with the workout thing. And I'll probably just talk about that one throughout when I bring up an example. So that's number 2. Reflect on your why. Not fun. It is fun, actually, but it's not that glamorous thing you're looking for. Number 3 is to start incorporating your new you into your new life. So start doing the things. Again, I said there's no need for you to go into this huge financial strain just to start doing this, but start incorporating those little things. So for instance, I said I want to dress a certain way. I can't necessarily explain it, put it into words right now, but I know I want it to be like, just off the top of my head, like a sassy, professional, modest, comfortable. And that can go so many different ways. That's not linked to street style or I don't know, academia style. Like it can look different ways, but I know what I want. So with this, I started with my closet and I looked to see what do I already have and what is in my closet that literally I know I will never wear again because it is just given off early 2000s mom. And I still have a couple of those pieces. I'm not getting rid of them just yet, but I started with what I had, getting rid of those clothes that didn't align with me anymore, pulling out the clothes that I bought for this future version of myself, and I felt like it wasn't the right time to wear them. I started wearing them because, like, why am I waiting? Like, I am the occasion. I am the person I've been waiting for, and she is here now. Pull out that outfit and wear it. So stop waiting for that moment to click to create the moment for you to rebrand and be you, because the moment doesn't come, you create the moment. And then I already mentioned this, but like the workout classes, I wanted to try the different workouts. So I started with free YouTube workouts, and then I got into ClassPass. ClassPass has been one of my ClassPass is my saving grace. It's the most affordable way for me to try all the different classes I want. And there's a way to finagle it, but ClassPass has been my saving grace with trying these workout classes and going to more of these boutique gyms regularly, because I don't want to, I don't want to pay. I don't want to pay for those memberships. And also, I don't think it'd be beneficial for me to pay for the memberships. But with ClassPass, I got started off with 20 free credits where I was able to try as many as I want. And then once I started paying for the membership, the ClassPass membership, I then became more selective. I kind of found my favorite classes, and I use ClassPass through that. So if you do want to try ClassPass, I'll leave that in the show notes as well. You'll also get 20 free credits just by signing up. You can cancel it at any point. There's no obligation there, but ClassPass is bae. ClassPass is bae. And then the last step in your rebrand is to launch it. Think about, I'm launching right now. This podcast is the launch of my rebrand. Got the music, got the logo, got the everything. There's no need for you to shout out to the world, hey guys, this is who I am now. You don't need to do that, right? What I mean is simply letting people know that this is me and starting to live that out, that this is me. So it starts with you saying, for instance, if your rebrand includes you not drinking anymore. It's not when you go out to dinner with your friends, right? They're all ordering cocktails. You don't have to say, oh, I'm trying to stop drinking, right? That doesn't sound like a hard launch. That doesn't sound like you're too sure that you're going to stop drinking. If you said to yourself that night, I'm not drinking, you can just say, no, thank you. I'll just take water. I'll take some sparkling water. Do you have a mocktail menu? That's okay. That is A-okay, right? So now you've already sent that, you've said it out loud, you've launched it, you sent that signal to your brain, you sent that signal to your friends. They're like, okay, she's not drinking. Another time you guys go out, you do the same thing. You can explain it to them. You don't have to explain it to them, because I know that is still you processing it. So hard launch it, do it, and say you are that person, right? To yourself, to the people around you, because that's what a brand is. Now, if you're really ready to get into it, let's say someone asks, what'd you do this weekend? This is for me, right? I go to work. They say, oh, how was your weekend? What'd you do? I can go and say, oh, it was good. I just kind of chilled at home. But in reality, I spent some time working on my logo. I recorded a podcast. I edited it. I scheduled it. I scheduled the podcast. These are the things I've done, right? So now I've launched it as I'm a podcaster. And it's so hard sometimes for me to come out and say that, because I don't know why. But hard launch it. I'm still in this phase. So I'm in 4, I would say, definitely, with the hard launch. And now you send the signal out to your friends, the people around you. Let's say they come across someone who also does a podcast, or someone who is looking for someone to interview, anything, right? I'll be the person that they think of, and they're like, oh, my friend Quenisha has a podcast. She does this, this, and this. Here's her contact information. So the hard launch is for you to believe that is true, and also tell that story. It's your brand. I hope that you all were able to get some good notes and move forward in your rebranding process. Let me know what you think about this podcast. You can DM me, you can email me, Be a Better Baddie on Instagram, or beabetterbaddie@gmail.com. And if you're feeling extra empowered and extra giving, feel free to leave a review on whatever platform you are listening to, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Stitcher, one of the many other podcast platforms out there. And I hope that you all have a beautifully blessed, productive, self-loving day. Bye.